This is what is left of the gold mines of Virginia, remnants of abandoned and derelict mine hostels. 23-year-old Tabela Lipoi runs a panel-beating business in Meloding. But poor economic conditions make it difficult for budding businesses like this to thrive.
I need security to be tightened, and I've been trying to save to put up a fence, but it's tough. People's cars aren't safe, tires get stolen, windscreens are broken, and the cars get scratched. And ultimately I have to pay for those damages. I need better security and equipment.
Information on how to source funding is hard to come by, and the collapse of the gold mining sector in the area is felt by all businesses.
You can imagine if one mine retrenches more than 4,000 or 5,000 people, to lose an income of so many people, it really affects business.
A once bustling gold mining town. During its heydays, the population stood at about 120,000. Today, it stands at about 78,000. Unemployment and poverty are rife. Economists attribute that partly due to failure to plan by the authorities, who should have foreseen that one day minerals would diminish.
It used to be the hub of what we used to call the gold fields, whereby everything was available. People envy the residents and the people who stayed in that town. But since the dawn of democracy, we have seen a change in terms of the mining being closed due to unforeseen circumstances.
Research has shown that Virginia has the potential for tapping into the tourism market, and a local entrepreneur has already begun offering various tourism packages.
We also identified all the sites of cultural and heritage sites and sites of attractions.
In the meantime, the Machabeng municipality has come up with what it calls the 2030 vision. It hopes this will revive the town's economy and stimulate growth. Palisa Mathani for Morning Live, Virginia.
All right, let's talk a little bit more now about those businesses that are on the periphery of the mines and struggling to survive because of the closure of various shafts in and around this area. We've got a businessman here who knows all too well what the effects are and have been. It's Johnny Kambanis. He's a businessman who's been operating in Virginia for several years now. A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yanda, and welcome to Virginia.
Thanks again for welcoming us. Now, I want to find out from you how severe it's been the past few years. Just talking to you off air, you mentioned to me that you hired or had a staff at least of about 56 people in your dry cleaning business. That's dwindled down to about 9 now. So you've been heavily affected by the mine closures.
Yes, in the 1980s, the mines were thriving in Virginia. We had 7 mines. We had about 36,000 staff only closest to to Virginia Center. And all that has been lost over the years, from about 1990 to about 1998, 99. We eventually left with no mines except one shaft or 2 shafts about 10 kilometers away from Virginia. Now, the business is concentrated mostly in the supply of commodities to the mining staff, mining workers. And with the mining closure, all that collapsed. We're sitting with some 50, 60 businesses or shops standing empty for the last many years in the center of town. And those businesses that have survived at a tremendous cost to them. And because we are far away from the major centers of the cities, it is so difficult to try and bring raw material and then process it and try and sell the end product again. That is why we have not been able to stand back on our feet again. We went into recession in the 1990s, and we're still in recession. A lot of things have been planned, and a lot of things have been foreseen for Virginia, but not much has been materializing. And this is keeping us down from entering into the commercial world and trying to be competitive. What you see of the business area and the housing in Virginia, that half of it was developed in the 1980s, and all that collapsed. When around about 1992-93, we had something like 2,000 houses standing empty. all these people have left the town and taken so much more time and effort to try and revive, and it's still difficult to survive.
Do you think there's a will, though, not only from business, but also from the people in Virginia? Is there a fight left in them to try and see things change for the better?
Yes, there's still a will. There's still a lot of people I have met and entrepreneurs that want to develop and want to expand in Virginia. But, you know, those of us that are here, a lot of us do not have all that much capital in order to develop something new. The town, unfortunately, is not such nice anymore to attract outside business people to come and invest here. Unfortunately, many years back, Virginia was called the Garden City, and today a lot of that has deteriorated, and we cannot call that Garden City anymore. We need to have, first of all, the upgraded and a facelift of Virginia, at least to make it attractive to business people to come and invest here. We could have tourism as a thriving business. We have a river, which is one of the biggest assets of Virginia. We have old mining shafts that can be changed into museums and so on. We have hiking trails, which other towns around Virginia do not have.
And so much history and so much culture in this area as well that you could use as a commodity. But my thanks to you for joining us and giving us some insights as to what the businesses on the periphery of the mines have been going through. We'll have to leave it there for just a moment. We'll just find out also after news and